Hi everyone, this is Teresa. Welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to go through the steps for sanitizing your fresh tank. This is the first time I've done it, and a lot of thanks to our Facebook group for the Coachman Beyond owners. Got a lot of tips on how to do it. Plus, found a couple of videos that I'll share in the description that helped to give me some information on how to do this. I've had it, last time I had it done actually at the dealership, but I figured, I need to do this myself. It's not that complicated. There's just a few steps to make sure that you do. Most importantly is bypassing your water heater, because you don't want any bleach to go into the water heater. So we'll kind of go through those steps now. I actually found this. It's called RV Inline Sanitizer. So to sanitize the tank, you use bleach. Now I have a 27-gallon tank. I guess you can round up to 30. So I'd want to use a half a cup of bleach mixed with water. So what a lot of people do is they'll pour it down into the hose and then hook the hose up to the water and then just kind of let it go through. I came across this and it's supposed to be easier, so we'll see. We're going to try this out. It's the RV Inline Sanitizer. So we'll see if that makes it a little bit easier. But anyway, so the first thing and most important thing we want to do is turn off or bypass the hot water heater. And I have a Truma Combi. My connections and everything are underneath my cabinet, so I'm going to have to take out a drawer and bypass the water line that goes into the heater and then comes out. So that's what we'll do first. Okay, so to kind of show you, let's see, right now with this is the bypass. So this handle turned this way means that it's closed here. And if we look back here and down here, so this is the cold water, and this means that the cold water is going to go here into the combi. This is my Truma Combi right here. So that means that the water is going in. And then here, that means the hot water would come out. So the cold water would be going into the combi and then coming out as hot water here. So these are the two that I need to switch closed so that when I run water through the tap, it doesn't try to, so that water doesn't try to go through here when I turn it on to the hot water. Even though I'm not actually using hot water, but when I switch it over to the hot water setting, it'll try to go through here. Looks like I need to dust back here. Anyway, so we're going to turn this one. Let's see, which way does it go? Okay. So, see, now that's closed. And then we're going to go back here and turn this one. Let's see, which way does it want to go? That one's kind of tight. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so that's closed. And now we want to open this one. Where does it go? There we go. Okay, so now when the water comes in down here, it'll come up and go through here and not go into here. So whenever these are parallel to the hose, that's the one that's open. That's kind of a good way to think about it. So now that we've bypassed the hot water heater, I'm going to take a look at my tank, and I looked earlier and it was about 25%. See, and well, it said 25%, and then we backed into the driveway, and now it's saying 40%. So what I'm going to do, and I did eyeball it, and I would say it's probably close to 25, maybe 30% full with water. So what I'm going to do is empty some of that water as much as I can, and then I'm going to hook this thing up, put the bleach in it, and then fill the fresh tank. Now after that, what I'm going to do is run it through the faucets. I'm not going to put anything in the black tank because right now I do have chemical in the black tank. I'm actually using liquefy right now to kind of test it out. So I don't want to mix bleach with anything in there. Uh, you know, it's one chemical, don't want to add another chemical. So what I'm going to do is, like I said, I'm going to run it through the faucets and into the gray tank. And then I'm going to drive around. I'm probably, one thing I'm going to do a little bit different. Some of the people that I chatted with, they'll go ahead and just empty, because it's diluted bleach. It's not solid, not 100% bleach. You're diluting it with 30 gallons of water. They'll go ahead and just drain the fresh tank from underneath, from its drain port. I'm going to do that right now to get the water out of it, but I'm actually going to go to our local, it's the National Indoor RV. They have they have like 4 dump stations. So I'm going to go there so that I can dump the gray tank and also dump my black tank. And I'm actually going to do a black tank flush as well, just to kind of, since I'm doing it, might as well do all of it. But we're kind of in a, suburban area, where our neighborhood is, our houses are kind of close together. So I don't want to be just emptying a lot of water out and then have people think, I don't know, that I'm dumping chemicals or something. But so that part I'm going to do a little bit different. And it depends. Now, some people will leave the bleach in overnight. One recommendation I got is to kind of drive around so that, it's kind of bouncing around and, getting all the sides of the fresh tank, so it, gets rid of any mold or algae or anything else that's growing in there. And this is something you want to do periodically. Like I said, this is the first time I've done it. I had the dealer do it before. But it is something you want to do because, water can stagnate and just kind of get kind of nasty. Luckily, I haven't had any issues yet. The tank doesn't smell or anything. It's just something in the back of my mind. I know, there's water going in and out of there. So at some point I know it needs to be cleaned out. But anyway, let's go on to the next step. Okay, this is where we are going to drain the tank. So while that's still draining, I went ahead and hooked up my fresh water to the freshwater connection. So here's that inline sanitizer. That's normally where my water filter would go. So I have 2 hoses, and it's to take, for the water filter, it's to take the pressure off the connection up here. But this is where we'll put the bleach in, and then when the water comes on, it'll just send it right in. And once this finishes, I'll close it so that we can fill the tank back up with bleachy water. Okay, so I've closed the valve and I have my half a cup of bleach, and I'm going to pour it in here. Being real careful not to get bleach anywhere, because we all know what happens with bleach. All right, now I'm going to go turn the water on. So now my tank is almost full. I left about, I'm not good at fractions, but probably about 1/8 of a bit from the top so that when I'm driving it'll slosh around. Some people leave it overnight. I'm kind of debating because it's Saturday and it's 3 o'clock. So I might let it sit for a while, and I'll either dump it today or take it tomorrow. And actually nobody will be at the dealership tomorrow, so if I'm there for an hour flushing tanks, nobody will notice. So now what I'm going to do is run it through. Oops. Turn on my water pump. So I'm going to run it through. It's the cold water. I'll let some get into the gray. I can smell the bleach, so that's good. I'm gonna run it. This would be the hot water, but we've bypassed the Truma, so no water is going into the Truma. So hypothetically, if I was running the Truma, I wouldn't have hot water anyway because I bypassed it. So my pump seems kind of loud. Kind of vibrating too. That's kind of odd. I might have to get that checked. And now we're going to run it through here and see how the pump sounds over here. So now we're running it here. That pump sounds really loud. That's not good. Let's do this. And I can smell a little bit of the bleach in there. One thing I noticed was that this little inline, this is what it looks like. It did seem to kind of want to spring some leaks. I had it on there pretty tight to the connection, so I don't know if that was just user error, because it seemed like the more I would tighten it, the more water would start to kind of spray out. So I didn't want to get bleach spraying on me. So we'll have to see next time if I try it again, if that's user error or if it's something with the way that product works. I don't know. But it did overall make it a lot easier. Like I said, I have those two hose connections anyway because I put my fresh filter between the two hoses because it was a tip I got from somebody on our Facebook group to put an elbow from the water connection and then attach a short hose and then attach my filter so that it's not pulling on the connection and over time kind of weakening it. So that was a good tip, and it's came in perfectly handy for something like this. So but yeah, as far as that spraying a little bit of water, we'll have to see if that's, again, user error or something with the product. But anyway, so I'm going to let that sit for a little while, and then it'll be on to the dealership to dump the tanks and run more fresh water through there to kind of filter out, you know, get rid of the excess bleach. Probably will run it through a couple of times, but anyway, so when I come back, we'll be at the next step. It is now Sunday, and I'm on my way to National Indoor RV to finish the process with my tank. I'm gonna rinse it out a few times, and then also I'm gonna flush the black tank since I'm there, just get that out of the way. We'll get that done. I've been, actually since I've been back from Florida, I've kind of been taking a lot of little trips, little short 1 or 2 night trips. I did, let's see, I went to Fort Worth for one night, camped out at the stockyards with some friends, and then actually my husband came with me. We went down to Boerne, Texas, and met up with Chris and Sandy from Beyond Intention. which I'll put a link to their page. They have a really good YouTube channel. But we met up with them, and then, you know, walked around Bernie, walked around Fredericksburg, and then the campground that I stayed at when I made the storage video is about an hour. Well, an hour if you take the highway, hour and a half if you take the back way from where I am. And I managed. I think I went up there like 3 more times because I managed to get a spot right on the water. Really nice. I'll put a little video of it. I was going to record some while I was up there, and I did, but I didn't really like the way it came out. But I'll show you some clips of the campground anyway. But anyway, it's a really nice place to go up to just to get away. Probably would have done that this weekend, except it was completely booked. Well, it's Memorial Day weekend, so and I think with the schools getting out, it's probably going to be a lot harder getting a spot during the summer. But I'll probably try to get up there again, maybe late summer or whenever I can find an opening, because it is really nice to go up there. But I leave in a couple weeks for the Coachman Owners Rally up in Indiana. So that's going to be fun. I'm going to take parts of Route 66, kind of like I did last year, but I'll probably record a little bit more of it this year, at least with some commentary, because the clip I had last year, I didn't have any commentary on there, but that should be a nice trip. And I'm actually, after the Owners Rally, I'm going to pick up my daughter. She just graduated. That's the other trip we took. I forgot. How could I forget? That was last week. We went up to Cleveland for her graduation, and she's been working an internship. They actually held her, or kept her on. It was only supposed to be for last year, for the spring semester, but they kept her on last summer, and then they kept her on this past fall, and again this spring. And we thought maybe they would offer her something, but I don't know that they actually have any full-time openings. So she's going to move back home and then start looking for work. She's thinking about New Mexico, so which would be cool because then I'd have an excuse to always go to New Mexico. Anyway, so I'll be bringing her home, which is going to be interesting because I'm probably going to tow a little U-Haul trailer, and I've never towed anything before, so that in and of itself is going to be an adventure. But yeah, staying pretty busy. Anyway, taking the highway here to the dealership. Hopefully shaking the tank around enough to splash it all over the sides, but it's pretty full, so I'm sure it's going to get pretty clean in there. It almost looks like they're open. I don't see anybody, but the gate's open to go around, because usually if it's closed, I have to go in the wrong way to get to the dump stations. But it's open, and they have a big storage area, because they sell Newmars, primarily Newmars. So there's just all these big boys in here. That's what I call them. Anyway, they have the storage doors open, and so maybe they are. It's Sunday, and I know sales is not open because on the other side where they have the new units sitting out, that there was a gate closed over there, but well, maybe they do some stuff on Sunday. I don't know. At least the gate's open. I'll find a good dump station here. Oh, you know what? They do have a campground. Maybe that's why it's open. I don't know. Well, I wouldn't call it a campground, but places for people to camp. I guess, to stay while they're. So maybe I'll use that one or this one. Let's see. Black tank flush. Yes. Okay. It should work. All right. Let's get this party started. So just to kind of catch you up with what I'm doing here. So I did the initial running water, to get it into the gray tank. Put a lot of it into the black tank after I dumped my black tank. I was going to do the black tank flush here, but the faucet isn't working. So I'm doing it the other way, which I guess it's two birds with one stone, since I have to empty out the fresh tank anyway to get the bleach out. I'm just pouring it into the black tank, so kind of doing like a manual flush, I guess. Which is how you normally do it anyway, if you don't have the hookup, which I do have a hookup outside, but it's just one way of doing it. So that's kind of working out. I've already emptied out the initial bit of the initial bleach water. Now I'm emptying out, I filled it up about 90%, and I'm emptying that out between the gray and the black tank. And then I'll probably fill it one more time and see how it smells, because it still does smell a little bit like bleach, but when I first came in and tried it, it was really strong, I guess from sitting overnight. So turn this off. So yeah, filling the gray tank, my laundry bucket to fill the black tank, and if we look, we can see that my black tank now is full. Gray tank is 25%, which I don't know how, I call these guessometers, because I've been running it for a while, and I know the full tank can't still be at 75, which actually the blue line underneath indicates that it's not getting a reading, so we'll see. About ready to probably do our second dump and our second fill. Okay, so I just dumped the black and gray tanks again, and I'm filling the fresh tank again. I didn't wait till it completely emptied. I'm just going to keep kind of cycling it. The black tank ran nice and clear, so that's good. I'll probably just give it one more flush, mainly because I'm just trying to get rid of the water that I'm draining as I fill to get rid of the bleach water. But I think I'm almost done. I'll show you the setup outside just so you know what I'm talking about here. See, that's what I mean by it looks a little cloudy, like it might rain. I don't know. But this is the sewer flush right here. And yeah, this faucet, it's not working right there. So I am filling with fresh water. And then my hose is set up so I can dump. But that's pretty much it. It's not difficult. If anything, it's just tedious because it is a process of filling and dumping. All right, we are done. So, like I said, this part was a little bit different as far as how some people might do it. They may just use the drain on the fresh tank to empty the fresh tank and not, draining it through the faucets. I mainly just did that because I did want to clean the black tank, just because. I figured why not. And it actually worked out better that hose didn't work, because filling it with the bucket, I think went pretty quick. And it did, like I said, two birds with one stone. It helped me empty the fresh tank, and then, oh, look, it's sprinkling. My wipers just suddenly popped on. So I finished just in time. Anyway, so yeah, so that's all done. Got a nice fresh clean fresh tank. I didn't smell any more bleach. There's still a little bit of water in there. I didn't empty it completely, and I may actually drain that at home. It's not a big deal, because it's not a lot. It's not 30 gallons coming out. But yeah, that's kind of it. Like I said, I added to it because I was draining, dumping tanks, but it's really not difficult. Like I said, it's more time consuming. It's more just, setting aside a little time to do it. Um, but I'm glad I did it and got it done, and it's one less thing off my mind. And I did notice, I know I said yesterday my water pump sounded a little loud. Um, it sounded fine today, so maybe it was just, I know the fresh tank had gotten low prior to me cleaning it, so it's possible that maybe that was just like it just had a little air in it or something. But I think it's fine. But yeah, that's that's the end of that. So anyway, I hope that was helpful, and all I have left to do now is just turn my or turn off the bypass for the Truma so that I can get hot water again, and then put my drawer away. You can see that it's out, and then I'm all done. So anyway, yeah, I hope that was helpful. I hope it made it seem a little bit less scary if you're new to your RV or haven't gotten an RV yet, or a van or camper or whatever, and have never done these things before. I hope that was helpful. Anyway, see you in the next one.